One. If you take a walk around your neighbourhood, the streets, the suburbs, and you see something that's broken, a public amenity that's broken, a vandalised bin, for example, or even dumped rubbish, there is an app that you can use to report it. And you've heard about this often on 891 ABC Adelaide, especially from various council members and mayors who say if you see something, take a photo and send it on the app. Snap, Send, Solve, it's called. So it's kind of exactly what it says in the title. You take a photo, send it to the app, and local authorities are then alerted to it and should be able to fix it. But it turns out a lot of people have started using this app a little bit off-label to do things like report dodgy parking. If someone's parked their vehicles on the verge or they're blocking footpaths or driveways, for example. And apparently in New South Wales and Victoria, more than 100,000 extra reports of this nature was made last year alone. But it's not really what Snap, Send, Solve was designed for. Is it worth using this app in this way? Danny Golrog is the CEO of Snap, Send, Solve. So, get people complaining about how other people are parking in their street. We have to have an outlet, Danny, because otherwise we're waving our fist at clouds a lot of the time.
100%. Thanks for having me on today. As you say, Snap, Send, Solve is an free app for the community that lets people report a lot of stuff. It turns out illegal parking, as you say, is a big issue, but it's actually not the biggest issue in South Australia, in Adelaide. That goes to dump rubbish and abandoned trolleys, which is a pretty common thing we see across Australia. But people do use Snap, Send, Solve to report illegal parking. And sometimes the council will get the report and they can go and act on it. But oftentimes it's actually about letting the council know where there are patterns of illegal parking. So as you say, on curbs, in blind spots, around school areas, persistent people parking persistently illegally. And also another big one that really annoys the community is people parking in disabled parking zones without. So it's a real pet peeve, and I guess Snap, Send, Solve is an outlet for that. But we do hear from snappers that it does get results and it does get cars moved on, and we're really happy with the results of that.
Oh my gosh! So even though that's not what it's designed for, it's actually working in that way. And so, who is it? So just give us an overview of how the app works at the moment. So let's say I take a photo of a dumped thing.
So you'll need to, you take a photo, you put in a description. We will try to actually give you a suggestion of the incident type. You select the incident type, and based on where you are in the incident type, we will then send that message off to the solver. In most cases, it's a council. In some cases, it could be a water corporation. It could be a Coles or Woolies for an abandoned trolley. It could be a damaged Telstra pit, which would go to Telstra and NBN and all those different utilities. And we've got very high rates of solve. So we ask our snappers when they do the report, did the issue get solved? And it's around 9 out of 10 reports get solved. It does change a bit between categories, but it's very high, and that's what really leads to word of mouth behaviour, and that's why we're sort of gaining traction. I think South Australia actually is growing one of the fastest growing states in the country for us at the moment, off a lower base, but definitely growing quickly.
Well, I'm not surprised because, like I say, every time we have an elected council member, usually on the radio, and people call in and complain about X, Y, and Z, usually shopping trolleys or dumped rubbish. Yeah. You're exactly right there, Danny. Then the person that we're speaking to will say, "Oh, you've got to send it to this app." So I'm really not surprised that's increasing. But if so when it goes to the person who can fix it, I would assume normally a council area or like power and water or whatever. When it's a car situation, who are you sending it off to? Who's the solver?
Yeah, well, often it's the council because they're the ones who are responsible for the illegal parking, patrolling illegal parking. And like I say, most of the councils have got a pretty good in business hours. Some of them have got after-hour ranges depending on the size of the council. And so again, like I said before, it's pretty good. We have a pretty good response rate with illegal parking. It depends when the report goes in, and it depends how sophisticated the council is with dealing with our Snap, Send, Solve reports, which can vary as well. But overall, people, it's growing. It's a growing category. People seem to be liking it, And we're happy that they're using it to get some, part of the I think the psyche and the thing that we're trying to achieve with this, Joe, is that it's really hard to get anything done in your community. And if you have to kind of struggle to work out where you are and which website do I go to and then navigate these complicated websites, it just becomes too much and people are like, I've had enough, I can't do it.
Yes.
So Snaps and Solve is just this tool that people have in their pocket, which makes it really easy for them to take action and they feel like they're being heard. And that's the reason people are really loving the app. And we've got, nearly a 5-star rating in the App Store and people love it.
Well, I've got a text here on 0467 922 891 saying, I sent an incident report where my dog was attacked by an unrestrained dog in a building site, but I never got a reply or a resolution. So was this the correct thing to do? Asked this text.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. There are some incidents that get put through on Snaps and Solve which are really hard for the council to deal with quickly, and so that might have been more appropriate to call in and maybe a ranger could have come out sort of ASAP. But like I said, we're trying to solve a problem at a system level, and our data says that we've also got a system in the background, Joe, where if a report goes to a solver that's the wrong solver, they can automatically reassign it to the correct solver, and the snapper gets notified along the way.
Another text says, reporting illegal parking sounds like an opportunity to expand the app. You should promote it. There's some free business advice for you, Danny.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's a hot topic. Whenever we post stuff like that on Facebook or whether, we have calls like this, it is a hot topic for the community and it's something that we're trying to address. We do have some councils that we're working very closely with around the country where the Snaps and Solve report actually goes straight to the council ranger with all the details, with the geolocation, with the photo so that they can act on it really quickly. And so that's an amazing experience. I think that's probably pretty good for the council. I think it's good for the community. So, there's lots of opportunities to expand the way it works.
Here in South Australia, I think we've really only started hearing it fairly often being spruiked by those who are elected representatives of councils and so on, probably for the last 18 months or so. But the app itself has been going for 10 years.
Yes.
So in that 10 years, what are the top things that are getting sent your way?
Yeah, well, dump rubbish is a massive issue across the country. Abandoned trolleys, when you take the big, Aldi, Woolies and Coles, a massive problem, often in a city. And then it really changes. We have there's roaming livestock we get occasionally in kind of rural Queensland. We get a lot of the electric scooters and bike hires. Yeah. They're ending up in trees and in creeks and in lakes and all that stuff. So the variety of stuff we see is actually enormous. The reason I started the app is because I had a young son at the time. I took him to a playground and the little clasp on the swing was broken. And I was like, how do I get this fixed? And so that was the genesis of the app. And so I've got a particular interest in kind of playground issues. And, that's growing as well. I don't even know what the number is. It's tens of thousands that go through Snaps and Solve. And they're things that the council can fix really easily and they keep the community safe. Potholes, trip hazards, those sort of things. I think, if they didn't know about it, they can't fix it. So now that they know about it, they can fix it. And I think that just results in people being safer in the community and feeling like they've been heard and they've had a voice. And that's why I'm proud of the app.
Yeah, well, you should be. I think it was more than 100,000 just on dodgy car parking in Victoria and New South Wales alone in a 12-month period. So were you an app designer before you came up with this particular app?
Yeah, I actually had an app development company and this is one of the first apps that we developed.
Did you stop developing apps at that point? Just go, we've done it. This is the most successful app of all time. We can take a break.
Well, yeah, we were doing some of the bigger apps, the footy, the AFL and the NRL and stuff like that. So this was an app that was a bit of a passion project for us. And it's worked out pretty well so far. I'm just really proud of the impact it's having in the community.
Yeah. Do you ever get absolutely ludicrous things comes through that you think, that's silly?
Yeah, we get ludicrous things. We have people who I think we would call them they use the system a bit too frequently. So I think there's a really delicate line between a real report and a kind of a bit of a nuisance report. So, if you see a chocolate wrapper in the street and you send that to the council, that's just pick it up and put it in the bin.
Yeah, the effort it took you to snap that and send it to the council.
Save the energy for the important stuff. And people, it's a little bit like, people get we call it snap happy. And so they go, they're walking down the street and they see graffiti on every light post, and they do, So we just got to be, there's a fine line. And as we work with the councils and the solvers more, we're trying to understand that, and we're building tools into the app so that the solvers can get the reports and we can try to automatically triage them for them. We can try to risk rate them for them. So we're trying to use a lot of smart tools, AI, that will improve the process all the way through to, can we just deliver that report to the person who can go out and solve it? And then we can reduce the time. Like, City of Melbourne's a great example. We've started working with them, and they have, I think, more than half the time it takes for a graffiti report to, from when it gets sent to when it gets solved. And their customer satisfaction has gone up from sort of 75 to 88%. So it's like a win-win.
Yeah, indeed. On 891 ABC Adelaide, you're hearing here from Danny Gorog, who is the CEO of Snap Send Solve. This text says, it's from Greg, who says, I hate caltrop, which is those nasty three-corner jack-type weeds. If I see it in a park, maybe I could report it on this app. Oh, Danny, does that sound like it's going to the... Is that a good thing to report? Or is that the chocolate wrapper style?
No, I think that could be. I mean, depending if it is a pest, he might not get an immediate response, but someone at the council will get that and go, okay, well, maybe we need to send the gardeners out there to kill that weed. I think that's a relevant report.
That is a good one, actually, when you put it like that, Danny, of course. Daniel says, I've used it numerous times with water leaks, graffiti and a broken street sign. It all gets solved really quickly. And another one says, I work for a council and Snap and Solve waste so much time because there isn't enough detail in the reports, and so many reports are sent that don't need to be. It must
Can I
waste...
respond to that?
Oh, let me finish the text. It says it must waste millions of dollars across South Australia. People should just call the council and explain the issue to get a good resolution.
Yeah, I mean, we do face that, and let me respond to that. Like, calling the council and providing an exact geolocation is impossible. Calling the council and providing a photo of the issue is impossible. And so we hear that a little bit from people that there's accuracy with data and there's not enough data, but that is just not true. So we provide a photo, 98.5 or 95 or 6% of our reports have photos. Every one of them has a geolocation, which is often where the photo was taken or where the person was who were reporting it. And then we provide contact details for the councils to get in touch with the person, with the snapper, if they don't have enough detail. So by and large, we do hear a little bit of that rumbling, but that to me is an old-fashioned view of the world. People don't want to call, they don't have time to call, they don't have the energy to call, and they definitely don't want to sit on hold waiting to report stuff. And so that's why Snap and Solve is becoming so popular. And also other digital tools that the councils provide. That's why everyone's going to self-service. So I don't buy that as a real issue.
Well, certainly the mayors that I've spoken to say, oh, just send it to the app. But if this text actually is the one who's getting the reports of the caltrop three-corner jack type weed and it's in a park and then you have to go and find exactly where the thing is, might be a bit frustrating for those on the ground who are trying to resolve it. I've got a call on 1300 222 891. Jeff's in Stonyfell. And you've used the app as well, Jeff.
I certainly have. I've used it for several years. It's an excellent app. It's really simple and easy to use. I've reported rubble falling on the road, fences blown over, fallen trees, electrical wires hanging down. It's been really excellent, and I've found that whatever council area I'm in, they respond very quickly. I don't have to worry about where I'm sending it to. It takes photographs of me, identifies my exactly where I am. It's as simple as it's really excellent. It's just absolutely excellent and easy to use.
Well, Jeff, that is quite the endorsement. Thanks so much. And maybe it's one of those things. I was bemoaning the other day, Danny, about driving down a road and on the side of the road is this manky old mattress right next to a bus stop. And this older couple was having to sit on the manky old mattress while they were waiting for the bus. It was kind of sad to see. But the mattress is still there and it's been raining and I keep looking at it going, someone should do something about that.
Well, you can do
Maybe
something
I
about
should
it
do
now.
something about it, Danny.
Definitely should. Great.
Good to catch up with you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
See you later.
Appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
YouTuber Danny Gorog, CEO of Snap Send Solve on 891 ABC Adelaide.